Good morning, everyone. It's Ace Cat here, and today I am going to be doing a review on the Scout action figure. Now, I've stated this before in my Team Fortress 2 action figure collection video that the BLU Scout doesn't exist. So the action figure of BLU Scout here that you see is, well, was a red Scout, but was just custom painted to be blue. So it's not an official product, it's just a custom for this video, and I'll probably only be taking a look at a red Scout since basically the only thing we did was paint his shirt blue, and other than that, there's really no difference. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the review, and I guess we'll start with his weapons. Okay, so right off the bat, no pun intended, Scout actually comes with all three of his weapons. So his primary, which is the scatter gun, it's sculpted very nicely, has a double barrel. I wish the camera would focus a little bit better. There we go. And it actually does fit into his hand perfectly. As for posing him to look like the BLU Scout there, that's not very easy. But he also does come with his pistol, and I have two of each of his weapons because I got both these guys new in the box, hence why I have two of his cards, but we'll get to his cards in a minute. I wanted to talk about his pistol, how its handle has this kind of grayish, it's odd, it doesn't really come across that well on camera, but I'm looking at this over the camera. To me, it looks kind of greenish gray, like just the tiniest little hint of green, but then it's grayish. But on camera, it just looks gray, like just gray, I suppose. But this is but then we have the engineer figure, and here's his pistol that was in his holster. And as you take a look at it, you'll notice that the handle is actually painted brown, which is a obviously different color than the handle on Scout's gun. But other than that, they seem to, excuse me to allow me to fix my arms here. They seem to be exactly the same, other than the handle. They are detailed very nicely. Focus, please. It's not really focusing. There we go. That's neat. It's kind of hard to see these details with just your eyes and not really using any camera equipment. Oh, that's interesting. There's a little spot on the gun that's not on this side, but is on the side on this side on both of them. Well, that's interesting. Well, anyway, I am glad that that they made Scout's gun, a different color than the engineer's, so it's easier to tell apart. And honestly, that's kind of nice that they weren't just completely lazy. Camera's not really focusing now. There we go. And then, of course, Scout comes with his baseball bat, and of course I have two of them here. So whoops, didn't mean to shake the camera there. The baseball bat, oh please focus. Okay, it's gonna have a hard time focusing. The baseball bat seems to have something black wrapped around the handle area. It's shaped like, well, a bat towards the bottom. I don't know what this piece would be called. I don't play baseball. But what's really nice is that it actually has a physical dent in it, as Scout's bat probably does in the game. And obviously it's a metal bat, but it's just kind of funny that it's actually labeled as the baseball bat. So anyway, now for some details on the actual Scout. I gotta say, Scout is actually pretty well made. He's focus please. There we go. The detailing on him is nice. His face is actually sculpted pretty good. I gotta say, out of the final three, Scout is probably the best one. And then, Sniper is the second best, and Medic, not so much. But he's got his earpiece, which, as far back as I can remember, he only ever used that in the trailer for the Jungle Inferno update. But then he's got just a regular ear back here, and he's got his hat, and honestly, I kind of wish they made, like, a little accessory pack for, like, all their hats or something, so you could put something over this, or, maybe make this one removable, like have it stick on with like a magnet or something. That would have been kind of neat, but then again, that might have been asking for a little bit too much. So his arms have very good articulation. So of course, he is one of the Merc figures that you can kind of T-pose. It's kind of hard to get him to T-pose. Sometimes you gotta like twist his arms the wrong way, and that doesn't really look natural, but there we go. He's T-posing, I suppose. But other than that, he's got good articulation. His arms are very skinny, and honestly, it's just kind of funny because I have Heavy here, and if I take Heavy and just show you guys Heavy, like how big his arms are compared to Scout's. Like, I mean, it's like that in the game and in the comic books, and I just thought that was kind of funny. But his hands, of course, have these bandages wrapped around them, and as you can see, there's a lot of paint damage here from me putting and taking the baseball bat in and out of his hands, essentially. I did not word that properly, but his thumb, it always feels like I'm going to break something when I do this, even though it's like, it only happens for like a second. And the problem with this is that like, they really should have made like another hand for Scout, because like this actually makes it like kind of held solid, but this is not how Scout would hold his baseball bat. And, yeah, I kind of wish they made an alternate hand for him holding his bat, but, I mean, I suppose, like I had shown earlier when he was standing, if you have, like, his arms down like this, it kind of, focus, please, it kind of looks okay, which is, you know, not too bad. But then his other hand, the resting palm hand, is all open like this, also has bandages, and it's obviously sculpted so he can hold the scattergun like that. However, it is also so he can hold his pistol, and really it just kind of depends on like the angle you have his hand in, but he can hold his pistol in that hand, and actually stays quite well. Is it gonna fall? I thought it was gonna fall there. But yeah, he can hold his weapons pretty well. This is something that that Squim Jim, or After Breakfast with Squim Jim, said that there was no way to get Scout to hold his gun like that, because there are pictures on Amazon. If you were to go to Amazon.com and look at the pictures of him holding it, he's holding it in this hand. And actually, one time I probably mentioned this before in the action figure collection video. I actually did manage to get Scout's pistol into this hand, and I am not going to try that again, because that is I mean, I just about broke the gun the first time, which was actually kind of scary, kind of threw me off guard. Like, I thought I was gonna almost break his hand, but no, it was the gun that kind of started to feel like it was gonna break. He has good leg articulation, and unfortunately, his left leg, our right, isn't made very well. This actually has snapped clean off a few times, and I've had to glue it back on so it can't really move. It's kind of stuck in this position now, but his knees have good, well, they're kind of stiff, actually. And then his feet move a little bit. You can't really, like, twist them and have them do, like, a ballet pose or anything. But he's got a nice red shirt, and it's actually kind of like rubbery. They kind of use this on some of the other figures. Oh crap, I didn't mean to rip it. But there's actually like a little bit of red underneath. I think it would have been kind of funny had they made like a removable shirt for him, and then underneath have the Tom Jones sex bomb tattoo with bomb spelled B-O-M, like they did in the comics. I think that would have been kind of funny. And then of course he has his messenger bag. And this is one of those things that I feel like that was like kind of like lost potential, and I hope that if NECA ever does make like an actual BLU Scout, they try to do this. But it's like, you know how the engineer has his excuse me, BLU Scout, sorry about this, but it's like the engineer has his holster here for his pistol, and you know, you can take it out and put it back in. Oh, he's leaning forward now. Don't lean forward. But you know, it's. You can put his actual accessories that he comes with into the holster, so he can actually have it on his person without him holding it in his hand, which is something that I kind of like. And, you know, I feel they probably could have hollowed out Scout's messenger bag, because obviously you could probably fit his baseball bat in there. It wouldn't fit in there all the way, of course, but it would look about right. He also has his dog tags. This is actually movable. You can take his messenger bag off. There's just a because I had to take it off for when we painted the BLU Scout. But there's like this peg sticking out of the messenger bag, and then there's like this hole in his back that the peg would insert into, and then it's like, you know, the strap isn't really attached to anything, which is kind of interesting because I don't know if I mentioned this in the heavy review or not, but his bullet chain thing, I don't know what this would be called, is actually kind of flexible and movable, but it's attached like up here, and I think it's actually like glued on or something. It kind of looks like it inserts like right there, but either way, not messing with that. And I'm not going to mess with this either, because I actually Gorilla Glued that back onto the BLU Scout with Gorilla Glue Micro Precise. But yeah, his head has good articulation, kind of. It's kind of lazy, but his head does rotate and move up and down just a little bit, but rotation is actually pretty good. I gotta say, that's gonna hurt Scout's neck in the long run, though. Him always positioned like that. But yeah, I'd say Scout is an okay figure. That's all I have to say about the figure. I was about to end the review right here. I almost completely skipped the art. So of course we have the front art of the Scout. This is the front of the box, and then we have some information on the Scout, and it says he was trained in making it look easy, pal. It says that his real name is unknown, but we do know that at least his first name is Jeremy from the comics. But yeah, I guess since they don't really have his last name, then we can't really put that on there. But anyway, it says that he's the youngest of 8 boys. Learned how to solve problems with his fists. He was very slow, yada yada yada, and that's why he runs so fast, so he could beat his brothers to a fist fight. So he'd be the first one there, because I guess he had to train himself to run so fast. And he is the fastest member of the team. Something that I don't really get is that in the game he has the ability to double jump, which is kind of weird, but either way, the sculpt is good. I do like the bagginess of his pants. I again just forgot to point that out. And then of course I got 2 of the Scouts cards. Please focus. But I got 2 of the Scouts cards, of course, class portrait cards. I don't know if that's just the lighting, or if it's the camera, or if these actually do have like a bit of a different shading to them. But anyway, they have the codes on the back. And as stated before with the BLU Sniper, they did have plans of releasing a code to go with specifically the BLU Scout if they ever released it, to have a certain hat. But the Red Scout, both of these actually just gave me the same item, which was the Atomic Bonk Helm, or the Atomic Punch drinking helmet, whatever it's called. And then the BLU Scout comes with this hat called the Old Baker Boy. And I'll put pictures on the screen right now. But it was just kind of sad that well, it's sad that they're probably not going to make a BLU Scout, since this is just a custom. But it's kind of sad that that the game wasn't like, oh hey, you already have this item. Did you get 2 of these? Do you want to get something else? But no, it got the 2 of the same item. But yeah, and really quick, before I end this review, I suppose I'll show a little bit of where we missed painting him, like his inside the sleeve, just a little bit around the collar and on the inside. Not really so much as down here. We actually did kind of manage to get underneath his shirt, but you know, if you look like really close, then you'll definitely know that, hey, this was once a Red Scout and just painted blue. But you know, from a distance like that, then it's like, hey, that almost looks like it's an actual BLU Scout. Except I think maybe kind of like with the heavy, they would probably make a color difference in his pants. But it's weird because I've seen multiple Source Filmmaker animations as well as Scout in the game, And it seems that Blue Scout and Red Scout kind of have the same colored pants some of the time, but then other times Blue Scout has like the same colored pants as a Blue Heavy, which is kind of weird. It's kind of a little inconsistent, if you will, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, anyway, I guess Scout is okay. I do recommend, if you guys ever do, if anyone ever manages to get these guys new in the box and you plan on opening it and, you know, using it for something, damp their joints with hot water, like, immediately, so his leg doesn't snap off like it did with mine. But the articulation, it's kind of like with Engineer, the articulation of his, well, actually, I guess it's the opposite of Engineer. The articulation of his legs isn't really that good, but then his arms are really good, and then the Engineer's arms are, like, kind of good, but then his legs are fantastic. But yeah, anyway, this has been my review on the Scout action figure. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.